Hey, what's up, guys? It's Derek.
And I'm Mitchell.
And today we're going to do something a little bit different from what we normally do, but it's still going to have a little bit to do with the toys because I have some props for this video.
It's spooky time!
Yeah, so we are in the month of October, which at the end of this month is Halloween, which happens to be my favorite holiday. Ever since I was a kid, 'cause I love spooky stuff and stuff like that.
He don't like Christmas. He mad. He ain't get no presents.
But so we figured that me and Mitchell came up with two 5-point list of what our favorite horror movie antagonists are. So I'm gonna go first.
All right, dope.
With my top 5, and to start out my top 5, I've got one little figure to show with this guy, and number 5 on my list is Jason Voorhees. Now, I haven't seen every Friday the 13th movie, but I've seen most of them, and as far as like slasher people go, the silent ones. Now, I've got a couple other slasher film antagonists that I'm fans of, but they're not exactly silent. But as far as between like this guy and Leatherface and Michael Myers, Jason's one of my favorites just because his backstory and his overall character design. So that's number 5 for me. Now, number 4 is another character that is Pinhead from Hellraiser. Now, this particular one's from Hellraiser 3, but I really like him because as a kid, he really creeped me out real bad. But when I started getting a little bit older, I actually kind of liked how he carried himself in the movies and stuff like that, and it ended up being, one of my favorite horror movie characters, even though the quality of the movies ever since like the first and second one has dropped down consecutively. But I still love the character even though the movies aren't that great. But yeah, that's number 4. And for number 3, now I don't have both of them, but I have one. I'm waiting on the other one to come in the mail. But number 3 is Pennywise the Clown. Now, this is the one from the new movie from a couple years ago. This is a NECA action figure. But I've got the other one in the mail. It just hasn't shipped yet. But, number 3 would be Pennywise. I love the Tim Curry version. I'm not going to take anything away from it. But I always thought it was more hilarious, whether it was intentional or unintentional. It was kind of hilarious to me, where the Skarsgård one was actually really creepy, in my opinion, and it still had a little bit of goofiness, but overall, like with the character design, he's pretty creeped me out. But yeah, so that's number 3. Now, between number 2 and 1 was actually a hard-fought battle because I love both of these characters a lot, but the number 2 spot is going to go to my old childhood favorite, Chucky. Now, I don't remember it, of course, because I was a child, but my parents always tell me when I was a little kid, like, 4 or 5 years old, while they were watching these movies, I would sit there and scream at the screen for Chucky to get the people, and, I was actually pulling for Chucky, so over the years, I've still kept a love for him, and I've actually got this NECA one from the original Chucky movie. And it's also got a couple of face designs from the other ones. But yeah, so that is number 2. Now number 3.
Number 1.
Number 1 is my all-time favorite horror movie antagonist. And no matter how goofy he got on some of the later movies, I still always loved his wisecracking and his smart-ass nature, and that is Freddy Krueger. Now, I remember a little story about Freddy Krueger. Back when I was younger, in the late 90s, early 2000s, when DVDs had just started getting, finally cheap enough for regular people to afford, our closest Best Buy was at least almost an hour away.
Yeah.
And, when I was a kid, it was always a special trip to go to this town it was in. It's called Roanoke, Virginia. And it was always a special trip to go there, so we would go there, and my dad would buy a bunch of DVDs and stuff like that. And one time, he actually bought the entire collection of Freddy Krueger movies, and that's how I was introduced to him as a character. And I fell in love with the character from the first movie just and it got better as it went on, in my opinion, because I liked him the more smart aleck he got, because it was just funny to me. But that's my 5. So I'm going to turn the list over to Mitchell for his 5. Now, Mitchell doesn't have a lot of props, but he is going to use one of my...
Yeah. So basically, I'm not a huge horror fan like Derek is. I do have my favorites I kind of like. Mainly if I'm watching scary movies, either because I'm with a group of friends or the girl's over and I'm trying to get a little cuddle, you know what I'm saying? But mainly, the main ones I do enjoy, like I'll watch by myself and enjoy. Some of these aren't necessarily like movie monsters, but they're kind of scary figures and things like that. Number 1 though is the recent remake of it was okay, but the original is The Thing. I've loved it ever since there. I don't know why. It was one of the first scary movies I saw, along with the next one. I loved it just how it was like a shape-shifting monster, and it kind of put you on edge. You didn't know who was the monster, and you had basically friends turning on friends. It was one of my first experiences with a complex movie, because up until then I'd been watching like I don't know, it was Power Rangers and stuff like that. So,
and we actually still don't know at the end of the movie.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, we really still technically don't, because there's some theories that there was like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
and it's all a big thing. My number 4 is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now he's not really a bad guy. He just wanted love, you know. He saw a hot girl, was like, hey, let me hot you.
You know, and they technically came into his home too.
Yeah.
So
like she came into his house, a beautiful woman walks into your home. What do you expect, you know? But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of it. It's one of the first movies I ever saw that was like mainly black and white. I loved it. It's an old school classic to me. Like I said, it's nothing like too crazy. It's not one of the greatest movies ever, but it's always one of those movies that stuck with me. Especially, I just kind of like the story behind it, and it wasn't. He's one of those monsters where it wasn't like he just wanted pure violence and gore. He's like, well, I'm just trying to be, you know, not necessarily human, but have humanity, you know. And number 3 for me, I just put up 4 because evidently I cannot count. Number 3 is Ghostface or Scream from the Scream movies. I love it, even though it does alternate between people sometimes and stuff like that. I still love it. It's one of my favorite movies. I still love it. It's like, what's your favorite scary movie? And stuff like that. And I love it. Don't hang up and get on me. But but no, like I said, I love it. It's like one of the first movies I saw where it was like an actual like human being the bad guy. I'm not like some like spirit or ghost or monster. Yeah. And they kind of showed me, showing light on that.
Well, it was kind of like something that could really happen.
Yeah, it could actually something that could actually really happen in real life. Not in real life.
In real life. I mean, some crazier stuff than that has happened in real life.
Very true. Yeah, this is crazy. Oh, I didn't mean to tell you, I'm a serial killer. No. Like I said,
I've seen you take down a bowl at breakfast.
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry. No, but then my second one, it's kind of obscure actually. I know people that have seen the movie but don't really ever think about it. Is like the I never really got her name, but she was burned alive for being a witch, basically, like helping people and seeing people's houses and doing nice things. But basically, it's the Tooth Fairy from Darkness Falls. It's one of the first scary movies I saw that I saw with a group of friends or people, and she's not necessarily my favorite like creature, but with her it's more associated with this first time watching a movie with friends and like having a good time or watching a scary movie. So that's always one of the good memories to me. And my number 1, now he's not really like a scary monster. He's an alien, but he's not really a scary monster. I loved him ever since I saw the first one with Schwarzenegger. And that is the Predator. I've loved him since day one. I don't know what it is, just something about him and like hunting people down. That sounds like really dark, but I loved the Predator and like basically the entire franchise. Even though it gets kind of dumb, I'm part way into it.
Well, you know, speaking of dumb, I'm not saying that it wouldn't have been good, but could you imagine if the original plan would have went through and Jean-Claude Van Damme was the Predator?
The player is just doing splits everywhere. He's not even hunting people down. He's like, I can do splits.
And you know, I actually found something I didn't know. I was watching a video a couple weeks ago and they were talking about facts. And apparently, if I remember straight, the guy who played the Predator is actually the helicopter pilot that flies them out.
Really? I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
So I know the guy that did the voice for the Predator is actually the same guy that does the voice for Optimus Prime and many other voice characters.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank, but it's the same guy. But I've always loved the Predator for some reason. it's been one of those things. Like as soon as I saw him on screen, I was like, I don't know what I was infatuated. I loved them. The Predators. Most recent, I actually went and saw the most recent Predator that came out with Olivia Munn and I don't remember the other guy's name.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's. I'll go ahead and I'll give it a non-spoiler review. It was a good movie for the most part. And Predator movies, I would say I'd give it maybe a 7, maybe an 8. This movie's entire franchise, I like a franchise of movies. I'd give it maybe 6.5, 7. There are some incredibly corny moments with it, and some part is just kind of. It was more of a setup for another franchise for Predator movies to come out, mainly.
Which I feel like that's a problem going on these days. Like with movie studios, instead of wanting to focus on making a good movie, they want to set up a franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, which there's nothing wrong about that, but make the first movie first and let it be good, and then work on making more.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you gotta. I mean, there's so many great movie franchises out there that originally weren't going to be franchised. There's just going to be one movie, but the movie was good enough that they'd make more.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't do it the opposite way.
Exactly. That's what a lot of studios have been doing. They're trying to make money. He said it was a good movie. I did like the ending of it. I'm not gonna spoil too much, but let's just say it was kind of badass. I do like because spoiler alert, I guess. But there are 2 Predators in this movie.
Yeah.
It gets pretty cool.
See, I'm kind of weird. Actually, my favorite Predator movie is the second one.
I got you. With Danny Glover. Well, they just at the end of the movie, he freaks everything out. There's we'll let you live. Here's a gun from 1803.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but I'm happy with, I guess. But like I said, I mean, I liked it. The first one, Schwarzenegger, still gonna be my favorite. And Carl Weathers, R.I.P. Carl Weathers. I'm actually not sure if he's still alive or not.
Oh, yeah, you gotta love the mid-air arm wrestling match.
I know.
At the beginning of it.
Oh yeah, but I'm a huge fan of this. So if anybody out there wants to send me stuff for Predator or Predator movies, want to put me in them, let me know. Holla at your boy. I'm just kidding. No, this is great. I love it. I'm thinking that's it for my list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Anything you have to say, Derek?
Not really. Just hope you enjoy Halloween, and we're gonna have one more Halloween themed video before the month's over, and it'll be on a different topic. Now, there won't be any toys in the next one, which will be a little bit weird, but it's something that I enjoy and Mitchell enjoys too. So check out the next video. It'll be about our favorite cryptic monsters
and pumpkins.
So we'll catch you guys later. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more from us, subscribe. We'll see you later.